Rebecca, at IBM Energy, one of your themes is turn sustainability ambition into action. What do you mean by this?
Well, I think there's no question about the ambition out there. 80% of the world now have sustainability goals in terms of
Mhm.
net zero and increasingly real zero. But until we integrate what we're trying to achieve into what we do every day, we're not going to be able to operationalize sustainability. And it may sound complex, but it's actually quite simple. There's three steps. The first is to define your goals and your strategy. The second is to establish an architecture in order to track your performance. And the third is to operationalize sustainability into what you do every day. And you can do that in three ways: through intelligent assets, buildings, and infrastructure, responsible computing and green IT, and thirdly, sustainable supply chains and circularity.
Now, what are the new energy technologies that businesses should be aware of these days?
There's so much innovation at the intersection of energy and technology. You've got climate technology aiming to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, improve resiliency. You've got operational technologies where across all industries, we're looking at electrification and green hydrogen and alternative fuel source technologies. But at IBM, in terms of information technology, we take a data-driven approach. We want to identify, link, and integrate the sustainability actions. And it's amazing what can be done just by leveraging data. You have dynamic line ratings. You have the impact of weather data on transmission capacity in terms of cooling winds, for example. Machine learning and AI powered image recognition, it's allowing us to save energy with respect to our assets, as well as time and costs versus rolling trucks. From an automation standpoint, we are able to free people up, boots on the ground, from doing routine tasks and elevate the work that they're doing. From modernization or collaboration, we have enablers like hybrid cloud and AI foundation models that look to have the promise of freeing up resources to be able to adopt technologies faster than in the past. So this will be helpful for smaller organizations as well. And then, of course, we have security for both systems and the physical world in terms of critical infrastructure.
Now, to make this real, can you share a few examples of companies that you've seen being successful in turning their sustainability ambition into action?
There's a great story from Melbourne Water, and they're located in Victoria. They operate a drainage network of about 4,000 collection pits and grates over 14,000 square kilometers. And they probably represent about half of the carbon emissions in the state of Victoria. They had a goal to lead the water sector in Victoria in terms of sustainability and looking to achieve 43% reductions by 2025, 93% reductions by 2030, and become net zero by 2025. So they set their goals, they had their strategy in place. And then they had to integrate over 100 different data sources. This was a challenge because they were previously using a legacy system with manual spreadsheets and manual uploading of data. But they've invested in a cloud-based software system to help them manage all of that. And it resulted in them being able to manage the utilities spend and risk. They were able to streamline reporting, and they were able to proactively manage their energy and identify areas where there was exceptional need to optimize. And One of those areas, if I can go just a little bit further here, Kevin, would be where they were taking visual inspection images. So if you think about those 4,000 collection pits and grates, it takes a lot to maintain that and to inspect that. By using visual inspection, they were able to automate that process. And on top of that, use machine learning in order to manage and sift through all of those images. And they were able to save not only energy, but they were able to save costs and time and improve safety as well. And that's really what we mean by turning sustainability ambition into action.
Now, reducing a company's scope emissions, it's not trivial. What are the typical challenges companies face as they look to turn their sustainability ambition into action?
So I think uncertainty is probably the number one challenge these days. And it's difficult because of that uncertainty for leaders to agree upon and then commit to a strategy. You've got the variability and unpredictability of weather events, and you have evolving regulatory needs as well as other stakeholders like customers and workforce. You've got these new technologies that we've talked about, and this uncertainty and mix of different challenges really creates an environment where it's difficult to even know where to start. 44% of CEOs also note that it's difficult for them to get insights from their data. And there's a statistic out there like 60 to 75% of the data that's produced is never actually even used. So creating that architecture and creating an ability to establish a baseline is actually quite complex. You've got data points coming from hundreds of systems that you need to be able to bring together. And once you do, you have to figure out how to actually make improvements on your baseline. So, how to operationalize these goals that you've set. We're making tremendous strides in both technology and energy space. And I think that's really promising in terms of our ability to turn this sustainability ambition into action that we talk about and deliver on the promise of a more sustainable future for generations to come.